Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody from Liberty University and my Communication 101 instructor, Mr. Dewhurst. This is going to be my second speech of the class. This is going to be my persuasive speech. And I want to welcome my son Brendan, 17, my daughter Victoria, 13, and my wonderful wife Lori of 25 years. They're going to be watching me do my speech. And not to exclude our rescue Shih Tzu Madison. She's been in our family now for about, I guess we've had her for about 4 or 5 years now, haven't we?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Anyway, thank you so very much. So I began this speech, this particular speech, there were many subjects that I wanted to choose from. And this one is something that I could relate to because I utilized student loans as a student back in the early 80s. As I was coming out of high school, I actually had a golf scholarship to attend a university and didn't utilize my scholarship money and didn't utilize my grants and aids the way that I should have. And I'm trying to persuade the students that are in high school now to pay very important attention to what I'm trying to say, because the resources that you have available to you now are going to be paramount as you start your college career, because we know in today's society, without a college education, it's going to be hard. You're going to find it hard to find some sort of employment that's going to give you a salary enough to where you can live comfortably, especially if you want to get married and have children, because you know, $25,000 to $30,000 a year is just simply not going to be enough. I want to point out some numbers. Basically, about 65% of all students in public colleges, roughly 60-65%, have had student loans or will utilize student loans as they further their education. On the private sector colleges, the numbers are even a little bit higher. I think it's about 70 to 75% are actually going to use, you know, some sort of financial aid. Um, as I continue on the numbers, staggering numbers to me were that since all the grants and aids and student loans came about, somewhere in the 1980s, I'm really not sure. I know that when I went to school in the early 80s, you know, I utilized them. So somewhere in the 80s, that 1.7 trillion dollars, 1.7 trillion dollars have been used towards aid for students to attend college. Now, having said that, roughly 850, 860 billion of that has been deferred or not paid back yet. So those are just some mind-boggling numbers, because I think what happens is when, especially high school students, don't know, they know a little bit more now, but they didn't know the value of the dollar. Um, you take out a loan for $3,000 or $4,000, and then you accrue that interest. Well, you're not just paying $3,000 or $4,000. If you get a bad interest rate on a loan, you're going to end up paying sometimes in the neighborhood of perhaps, you know, $1,500, $1,800, maybe $2,000 more on a $4,000 loan. So that's just something that we need to look at, and you have to realize, you know, before you take these loans out. The best thing that you can do as a young student right now, make good grades in high school. If you make the good grades in high school, you're going to get scholarship money. Scholarship monies are going to be the way to go, because you're not going to have to pay that back. You're going to have to pay all your loans back. As I said before, it, when I went to school, I learned, basically I went to college on a scholarship and learned how to water ski and drink beer. And that's certainly the avenue that I didn't want to go down. It happened. Do I regret it? Yes, I regret it, but I don't regret it, because I ended up finding the military, which I'm going to talk a little bit more in a second. I found the military, which allowed me to meet my wonderful wife of 25 years, like I said, and I have two wonderful children, and I don't regret anything as far as that's concerned. But another point that I wanted to make is the military. The military is a fantastic way to get a free education, and Mr. Dewhurst will approve to that. I don't know what his situation was with the military, but I would think that he probably utilized some sort of his VA benefits in order to take some school somewhere down the road. So what I want to do is I want to make sure and I want to persuade all the students that plan on going to college, and it's almost imminent that you are going to have to go to college. Make sure you make the good grades in high school, and I'm going to stress it again, make the good grades in high school and get those scholarship monies, because those scholarship monies are free. So as I end, I want to put a little emphasis on my two children, and I told them, 2 or 3 years ago that it's not going to happen. I'm not going to have the money to send you to school. You're going to have to do it either academically or athletically. And I think that I have two children that are probably going to get by in both of those categories. Both of them athletically gifted. My daughter's into all the sports, the basketball and the soccer primarily. My son's gifted in other ways. They're going to need the scholarship money because I'm not going to be able to pay for them. I've told them, since they were 6 and 7 years old, that 12th grade does not count anymore. You don't graduate in the 12th grade. You graduate in the 16th grade. And having said that, I want to thank everybody at the university again. I want to thank Mr. Dewhurst and his class. I want to thank all my classmates for all the thread posts. As I said in the informative speech, I enjoyed all the posts, and I can continuing to enjoy the posts as we end this class. I know that we have 1 week left after today, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody has a blessed day and a blessed the rest of their life. For if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, our Savior, we wouldn't have anything. And I'm going to end on that note, and I want to thank you so very, very much, and God bless you all.